In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to easily complete both the Pacifist and Pony Express challenges in a single match in Dead Rails. You can do these within an hour as long as you follow this guide, so if you do end up enjoying today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. To do this, we'll be using specifically the Cowboy class. This is because you get to spawn in with a tamed horse, and since we won't be using the train, this is our next best option. You also get a revolver, which we won't be using due to the challenge, but it can also be sold for some extra money. Now, I tried to use the vampire class before, and I thought it would be good since you get an insane movement speed buff, even faster than the horse. But the downside is that you take damage in sunlight, and since the nights in this game are so short, it takes way longer to reach the end as a vampire than a cowboy. When you spawn in, the first thing you want to do is obviously pick up your class items. Whenever you open the box, it'll spawn a wild horse that'll run away from you, so I'd recommend opening the crate inside of a building to avoid it from running. I'd also sell the revolver for some extra money since obviously we won't be using any weapons. Now with the money you've gotten, I'd buy some snake oil since we won't be needing any guns or fuel, so having a bunch of heals will help a lot. With all of that done, get on your horse and you want to just keep riding. If you see a building, I'd recommend quickly checking if it has any zombies inside, and if not, then loot the building. Also, if you come across any bandits, try to stay as far away as you can from them. If they somehow get aggroed onto you, they'll keep on following you for a very long time. And since they're also on a horse, you can't really escape them, so there's a good chance you might die if one of them starts following you. As you can see in the gameplay, I end up just skipping most of the buildings since they all have zombies inside, and I'm not trying to die. Now here, it ends up becoming a blood moon, which normally would be a bad thing, but I was right next to a safe zone, which means I could just let the turrets kill the vampires for me, and I could sell their bodies for money. And if you were wondering, the safe zone turrets don't count as kills, meaning you can still complete the Pacifist challenge. If you have a night where the werewolves are spawning and you're right next to a safe zone, you should probably wait the night out at that safe zone, and in the morning sell all the bodies, since you can get a bunch of money that way too. I also tried to clear out this house with zombies using the safe zone turret and see if there was any loot inside. Spoiler alert, there was nothing. I also didn't end up selling the vampire bodies for whatever reason. I guess I just didn't even think of that at the time. Anyways, the gameplay audio from here on is going to be muted because I was watching a show in the background. So if you were wondering, that's why. Pretty much for the next 10,000 meters, I just went straight to the safe zone without stopping. A lot of this will be RNG based. Like if you're lucky enough to find a building with no zombies, and it also happens to have good loot inside, then you can get set up with a bunch of heals and whatever. At least that's what I did. Whenever I got some money, I just bought more snake oil, and sometimes I bought armor. Anyways, this blood moon was pretty annoying since the vampires wouldn't stop spawning in front of me, so I had to waste some heals, but in the end I got through it. Here I made it to the 20,000 meter zone, and at this point I was about 14 minutes into my game. If you manage to find some loot, you can sell it and buy more snake oil or armor, or in my case, if you have nothing to sell, just keep going forward. Luckily, a Tesla lab, which can spawn anywhere between 10,000 and 70,000 meters, happened to spawn right in front of this safe zone. And the good thing about these buildings is that they not only have some valuables like gold and silver bars, but they also contain the brain in a jar, which can be sold for $250. So obviously I brought all the loot back to the safe zone and sold it. And with my money, first I bought a chest plate for some extra defense. Then, with the rest of my money, I just bought a bunch of snake oil. Now that I was prepared, I got back on my horse and kept going forward. Luckily, in just a second here, you'll see that I actually found a unicorn. This is also on one of the challenges, which is to ride a unicorn, which was nice, but I had already completed that. What I really wanted was the free $250 you got from selling the unicorn. And if you're struggling with capturing it, the easiest way is just to walk behind it and lead it into a wall, then store it in your sack. For the rest, the 30-kilometer area, nothing really happened. There was another blood moon at night, and like before, vampires kept spawning in front of me, which had me waste a lot of heals. But I wasn't too worried since I had a free $250 in my sack. Once I made it to the next safe zone, the first thing I did was obviously sell the unicorn. Then I spent all of my money on more snake oil. With all of these heals, I was pretty much set up for a long time, so nothing really happened during the 40-kilometer area. Then I made it to the next safe zone. And if you were wondering, by the time I made it there, I had already been recording for about 28 minutes, so I was making pretty good time. Now that I was set up with all my heals, I didn't stop for anything, meaning nothing really happened for a long time. And just so you guys don't forget, always make sure to keep your distance from the bandits, since they'll really mess you up if you're not careful, especially at night, since it's hard to see them at that time. Anyways, I made it to the 70-kilometer zone around 45 minutes in, so I was still making really good time. From here until the end, nothing happened, so I'll just skip to when I made it to the final checkpoint. And here I was at the end, 51 minutes in. I also turned off my show, so now you can hear the gameplay again. Anyways, this is easily the toughest part of this run since we cannot kill anyone and we don't have a train to protect ourselves. We need to somehow reach the lever, lower the bridge, and escape. To do this, you want to actually head around to the right side of the checkpoint and try to avoid any bandits that may have spawned around there. Now you just want to do the same thing I do. Head up to the wall, then jump around to the right side. Then it should teleport you onto the bridge, and from there, you want to head behind the lever and start turning it. Then just jump off onto the bottom of one of the pillars, and you can sit there without having to worry of the bandits or other enemies attacking you. Now I'm going to be completely honest, and I know this may sound like I'm making up an excuse, but I did die once trying to do this, because I got distracted, so I self-revived. As long as you're not playing dumb and you're fast, you shouldn't have to worry about dying at all. Anyways, you want to just sit down here until the timer is finished, so I'll speed this up before you guys get bored. And just like that, we've finished. You won't see the notification that you've completed the challenge, like how it is for the other challenges. But once we head back to the lobby and check the challenge board, you'll see that the Pacifist and Pony Express challenges are now completed. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you've enjoyed, or if this video has helped you out, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, then leave it in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer. Anyways, see ya.